Welcome, everybody, to the CCA League. I am DRF, joined by my co-commentator today, Popgun, and we have a fantastic matchup for you all today.
No, stop. Don't act like you didn't just have your mic muted beforehand. Don't try to play it off. I heard you. You're not getting away with that one. It's the second time you did that intro.
Maybe it may have been. So, but that doesn't change the fact that we have a great matchup for you all. It is a continued rivalry between the Comet Blasters of UT Dallas taking on UCSD Esports Gold, the varsity teams of these two respective schools that have been going at each other for about a year now. And I think this rivalry's actually been going on since January of this year. So we're approaching 1 year between these two teams.
I'm assuming this is a friendly rivalry between these two teams. No bad blood going on here, unless I'm wrong. Hey, you like rivalries are fun and cool, but it's also helpful when there's something actually on the line. Both these teams playing for that final playoff spot. UCSD has only played 3 matches so far, but it doesn't really matter if they win or lose their other match. If they win this one, they'll own the tiebreaker over the Comet Blasters. So this is essentially a play-in match for both teams to have the opportunity to go up against the Boiler Mako Special. Game 1 being Mako Mart. I didn't really catch
Clam
what the
Blitz
mode was for this one. Clam Blitz.
So
not with the Hydra.
Yeah, a bit of a favorite here from Splatoon 2. Taking a look here at these comps, immediately I've drawn to that reflux from Sunlight on the side of UCSD Esports in the pink.
Yeah, there's, not a lot of people like seeing the reflux, especially if you're the Hydra player on the other team, but it makes a lot of sense. Missiles can do a lot to displace an anchor player, and there's a lot of really strong anchor players in the game today. Reflux, kind of a cheesy way to deal with it, but it is very effective against anchor players.
Yeah, it's a good reminder of the good old days of Splatoon 2 sometimes, with the amount of missiles that thing can output. Early on, though, it's a little bit of a back and forth struggle between these two teams. We've really only seen a few trades, a couple specials coming out. The Comet Blasters building up all 4 of their specials that are going to be ready to go here in just a moment whenever they decide to let that loose. And UCSD has to be ready for this one.
Yeah, the UCSD's kind of backed off into their corner right now and just enduring, and now they're able to get a great opportunity to start pushing up here. 3 players going down, and now the Comet Blasters is that's UCSD is taking advantage, but they're not gonna get a lot of points out of this push. You don't really want to just go into a push and get an empty opportunity here, just giving away a free Mercy Clam at this point.
Yeah, that's a really big missed opportunity there for UCSD, only getting the 1+1, and it's a little bit frustrating if you're a fan of UCSD, because they had basically a wipe there, and they just weren't able to capitalize on it. This lead could have been much bigger, so UT Dallas is all for it at this point.
Here we go, as we see mid control is still staying in favor of the pink team here. Okay, so the pink team is UCSD.
UCSD, correct.
Okay, I just gotta start getting that into my brain here as we see the Comet Bashers starting. Okay, this is your chance to go. You got 2 players down. I'd like to see Nito start pushing up a little bit more at this point. Nice getting a pick over there, but still start controlling that right stack right there. Yeah, start putting some pressure on UCSD. Force them back like you were a little bit earlier. Don't just stay back there and wait for them to come to you.
And a big skirmish here on the right-hand side. CD Woomy jumping onto this right stack. It looks like they were able to take down 1 member of the Comet Blasters, but now everyone's kind of starting to spread back out again. Comet Blasters, I think, just definitely got a little bit scared there. They backed up a bit much and lost a lot of map control there. Now trying to utilize this Booyah Bomb, and that's going to take down 2 members.
Nice Booyah Bomb there by Nito. Usually you just throw those things as just kind of a displacement, but if you can get a couple of splats with it, it works out even better as the lead instantly going into their favor as they finally get that kind of push that they've been looking for. Now, here's the question. Can they extend this push without losing too much on the back end? And it looks like the answer to that's going to be no, that it's a delayed wipe. That is the last thing you want to do on this map. Even when you're scoring and getting a big lead like they were, you don't want to surrender control of mid, and you're also surrendering basically your side of the map as well. Luckily, it doesn't look like they're going to be punished too much with it. The reflex getting taken down, but look how pink this map is, and look how quickly it changed.
Sunlight jumping back in, ready to support their team. It's Coaster with the football right now as they are looking for a couple of picks to open up this window of opportunity towards the basket. Gonna be popping out this Try-Zuka, but not gonna be able to find much. There is the Hydra. That's the biggest pick that they needed, and that's gonna open out their opportunity. 11 clams at the ready, and that's going to be the lead, switching in favor of UCSD Esports Gold, and that's gonna be a narrow margin now. Oh, a couple more coming in to extend that lead. But Coaster, the last one standing. It seems like neither of these teams are able to get a push going without losing the majority of their members.
Oh, you need to push up right now if you're the Comet Blasters. You saw Sunlight being a little bit greedy, rushing in there, sacrificing their life just for a few more clams, and that gave you a huge control as far as the man advantage was concerned. But instead of pushing up and getting control in mid, they were really staggered, just trying to make sure nobody was flanking around the backside. As a result of that, they don't get control of mid as quickly as we saw UCSD able to do, and they're not really going to get anything out of that opportunity that they had.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a missed opportunity indeed for the Comet Blasters. With 25 seconds to go, though, not all hope is lost. They are going to need a power clam plus a good handful more on top of that. I believe 2 power clams would make it a tie, so that wouldn't even give them the lead there. So they would need at least another follow-up on top of that. But with 2 down on the side of UCSD Esports, this could be the exact opportunity that the Comet Blasters have been looking for.
Yeah, I was about to say you want to just get rid of that clam at this point, because now you're just giving yourself away. And look how quickly everybody's collapsing. They do pop the basket, and they do got some clams, but they're going to need to find a way to get some more. Secret being the last player left alive, working around that left side. Jumping up there. There's no clams up there, but really there was nowhere else for them to go. There were a few clams spawned to the side, but a 1v4 situation just not going to work out into their favor. Again, with this map, it's not how you start your pushes, it's how you finish them. You got to finish them with enough players left alive to where you can hold control of mid, considering how small this map is. And because Comet Blasters weren't able to capitalize off the opportunities that was presented to them when those pushes were ending from both teams, which weren't the best ending of pushes from either one of the teams, that's the difference in that one right there.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it seemed like neither team was quite in the position to, get those extended pushes off. Not until we saw UCSD in the late part of that match. They were finally able to have something going for them. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle there for both of these teams. But now we're going to be transitioning over to Splat Zone's Hagglefish, which this has emerged as an early favorite in the competitive community.
Splat Zone's Hagglefish?
At least from what I've seen, yeah.
Yes, that is. Now, there's not a lot of really good maps in competitive at all. Oh my gosh, as I'm looking at the map pool for you, are you responsible for the map pool here?
If you have any questions about the map pool, that you would direct that over to, I believe it is San and Mizuno were in charge of the regular season.
Oh my gosh, I expect better out of them. Fair enough. Hey,
well, the map pool was made in early October, like less than a month into the game.
First off, the main issue with the maps right now is just there's not a lot of good ones. There are some good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones, and it's hard to avoid them if you want a big map pool, I understand. But yes, this map in particular is seen as very good. Even if this was a Splatoon 2 map, it would have been used in competitive, I feel like. It's got a lot of flank opportunities. It's got nice walls along mid that you can play with, especially if you got something like an inkjet, even though there aren't a lot of weapons that have a lot of good weapons that have inkjet right at the current stage at the time. There's just a lot of different things that you can do, and it's not a difficult map to break out of a lockout either, which leads to a lot of back and forth matches on this map. So a good opportunity for the Comet Blasters to bounce back into this one. Goat Child coming out here with the E-leader this time around, and that is not what you wanted to see if you're Nito.
Oh, absolutely. They should have done a little bit of their homework there to anticipate this one. Nito, I know, has been traditionally a Tri-Slosher player that has pivoted more towards that Hydra in Splatoon 3. And knowing they should have definitely taken advantage of the stat sheet that is in place to know that an E-leader very well is coming their way when playing against UCSD Esports and Go Child.
Yeah, you got to dodge the E-leader, and the missiles are going to be flying at you non-stop. Now, if you play it smart, you can find ways to dwell, and then I say play it smart, and then you got an RP E-leader sniping you from the opposite side of the map. That's difficult to deal with. But now it's up to San Diego to start pushing up right now. You take out the anchor player, you're still stuck on your side of the map, though. They don't seem too eager to try to force anything.
Yeah, they don't. They're playing this pretty safe right now, actually, and they have control of the zone. They're all the way down to under 50 remaining now. Here's that Reef Slider that's trying to do some damage, and the Reef Slider doesn't take anyone out themselves, but Secant following up with those Tetras, able to get a couple of picks, and now here comes the Comet Blasters in a fantastic position now, playing very aggressive, doing what UCSD didn't do on their first push.
I love Secant on the Tetras. I know that Tetras is kind of wonky for some players. I know they complained about Reef Slider not being as good as Splashdown. But Reef Slider, very effective for them right there. Didn't get any splashes with it, but got Secant into the right opportunity and created enough distraction to start just chewing through these San Diego players right here. And you got somebody just kind of stuck off on their own. It's Woomy and Secant instantly following to them, and everybody else, look at how everybody else, well, was collapsing on that player. Nito gets taken care of again, but a good push there. Once again, Tetras or Secant is way better than what we've been seeing out of Splash. Not that they're bad with the Splash, but this is what makes Secant sink it. Those Tetras are deadly.
Oh, absolutely. And here now comes the triple ink strike that is going to flip the zone back in favor of the Comet Blasters. UCSD was able to put it to a stop to that push momentarily. And now that's going to be 3 down. This is going to be UCSD's opportunity now to get back control of this lead. If they can just push up a little bit and really start to do what the Comet Blasters did so effectively against them.
Yeah, and the problem right here is that, again, focusing on the Hydra, Nito has not left that canopy. There's just nowhere to go. Instead, they're staying back there, and they're doing a good job of cleaning up players that are overextending a little bit onto the enemy side of the map. But, okay, there you go. Secant doing the push. I'd like to see Nito start pushing up right there. You got to be a little bit more aggressive with that thing, especially with Secant laying the opportunity for them to try to get something going right now as they desperately try to hold on to the lead.
Oh, but that's not going to happen. CD Woomy with this Zipcaster. It's been a very heavily criticized special, but CD Woomy doing an excellent job. They're not really getting any kills with it specifically, but causing just enough distraction for their team to flip the zone, keep control, and get the knockout here in Game 2.
Yeah, Comet Blasters is really struggling finding opportunities to move in together. That first Reef Slider we saw out of Secant was great because it created a huge distraction around the rest of the Comet Blasters to kind of collapse in on the enemy side of the map, and that's what got them that huge lead. But once they were able to get some splats on the defensive end, they weren't able to move with Secant yet again. They weren't able to move up. I think they were just kind of worried, oh, this E-leader splatted me before, now I got to be a little bit more cautious about it. Instead of recognizing when those little windows are that you can drop down, that you can take those flanks, that you can start moving up and attacking in mid instead of attacking at mid from those kinds of situations. And that's not really anything to blame about Comet Bashers. That's more so credit to UCSD for forcing the Comet Blasters to play that play style with their presence on the field, even when they're not on the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, you know, an excellent analysis there, honestly. Wow, I'm trying to figure out now though, like, you know, Tower Control Wahoo, a very unconventional map mode. You know, I think this is going to what you were saying the last game with the map lists. But I'm trying to figure out, you know, what can the Comet Blasters do here to respond? Like, they've been hanging in there. They've had leads in both of these games so far, but they just haven't been able to hold on to it. So what could the Comet Blasters do here to get themselves back in a winning position?
look, if you're going to stick with that same comp that they've been doing, and we're seeing Nito being a little bit hesitant, maybe they're thinking about going to that slosher, I don't know. But if they stick with the same comp they just had that last game, you can play around that. It's, yes, playing Hydra against the E-Leader is, it's like playing a water Pokemon versus a fire Pokemon. It's not ideal, but under the right circumstances, you can kind of get away with it. And there's a lot of walls right here on Wahoo that you can stay behind, maybe catch that E-Leader off surprise, even though E-Leader's going to have a lot of sight lines to kind of work through right there. But if you just find ways to not just completely surrender to the E-Leader, but work around it and start pushing up together, you'll be fine. But instead, we do see Nito going with the 52 gal.
That's a surprising pick. I don't think I've ever seen Nito playing the 52 gal. So it's, to me, seems like a slightly drastic measure here. I'm not sure this is necessarily the time to start investing in new weapons, but we will have to see how this pays out.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. You can never go wrong picking 52, regardless of who you are. That weapon works out really well. And again, look at the at least the killer whales applying pressure onto the enemy E-Leader. If anything, it's allowing them to be a little bit just off their guard. Plus, it gives them more mobility as well. So I think it can work out for them.
Well, it seems like it's first control, though, going to UCSD, as they are going to ride this tower all the way to the first checkpoint. One down on either side, and a couple specials coming out as well. So a very neutral game by UCSD with the slight favor so far.
Yeah, that, you know, what's weird about this map is that first checkpoint half the time is just floating over nothing. It's kind of weird. Where are we going right here with this zipcaster? Doing a little around the world, drawing some attention away, and now getting pushed back into mid here as that first checkpoint is trying to be cleared by UCSD. Nice splat right here by the vanilla machine. I still want to call that thing the Kenton machine, but players are starting to get cleaned up here on the side of San Diego. This is a great opportunity yet again, if the Comet Blasters recognize it, to at least get control of mid and try to get something going for themselves.
And it looks like they will do just that. Coaster was very quick, though, to get back into mid and is going to find the revenge they were looking for, able to get to make that 3 from Coaster. And now Coaster is on a tear, and this is going to be back in UCSD's favor. No one's cleared that first checkpoint yet, but now it seems like UCSD Esports Gold could be the first ones to clear a checkpoint.
Yeah, and if you're Comet Blasters, you got to be all right with letting this checkpoint go right now. You don't want to overfeed a little bit too much into it. You just want to save the second checkpoint. You see Seekit being very annoying right here. So I guess that's a chicken that got that splat. Hello? Oh. And the reslider to finish it up as well. Okay, Seekit making a little bit of a hero play right here. Just kind of 1v2ing and winning that, shutting down that push, and more importantly, saving the second checkpoint that can pay dividends later. We're not even halfway through this game yet.
No, we are not. Well, now we've just passed the halfway mark, and this is an absolute bloodbath. Seekit on a tear now, but it's going to be Coaster. These two have been going at it the whole game, and it really could come down to which one of these two gets that higher KA and leads their team to victory. But so far, it's the Comp Blasters have yet to ride the tower either. They just haven't had the numbers advantage to work with yet. They're only having that advantage on the defensive possession. But oh man, now it's gonna be 2 down once again for the Comet Blasters. They're gonna inch this tower forward, but not in a position to make anything happen.
Yeah, that was a good splat. And again, those are RP splats. That Junior had Bubbler ready to go. If they can just get on the tower, pop down that Bubbler, they can find a way to get that first checkpoint. If they do that, it's a tie ball game. But every kill from the RP leader drains so much of your special right now. There's still 2 players left alive. Coaster out of the Inkjet and still in mid. And now the E-Leader's just kind of throwing down wave break here and retreating. So maybe a little bit of a wasted special, as they're going to need that on the defensive end here. But look, every single time they get the killer whale, look where it's instantly going. They want to displace Ghost Child. Yeah, Go Child just has been excellent on with just the pressure here. Hasn't found too many picks yet, but it's been enough to just displace the members of the Comet Blasters. But now the Comet Blasters have completely flipped the script, clearing that first checkpoint, getting control of the lead with just 1 minute to go. Yeah, and now the question is going to be, can they clear the second checkpoint and add on to their lead? They're in a pretty good position to do that, even though the missiles are coming out at the perfect time. A couple of players are getting splatted, and now you see the rest of the players swarming in. That is going to be a bit of a delayed wipeout right there, but still, there's enough time going here, and all you got to do is just get moderately past that second checkpoint. But the comp here from the San Diego, it's built a little bit more for defense than offense. You kind of got a bit of a wild aggression right now between the Stamper and the Tri-Slosher, and the Tri-Slosher is already down. So who's going to lead the charge for this tower to get to that second checkpoint? I'm not sure. They'll have to do something in combination with these missiles.
The missiles are going to have to be their key here. It's going to open things up for them just a little bit, but they do lose CD Woomy with the Stamper. So now this is going to... Oh, that's going to be a crucial pick there. The Chicken taking down the Reflux. And now it's two members from UCSD. As they're going to try and make a move on tower. Go Child's the last one standing. And no, it's not going to be enough. The Comet Blasters tighten this set 2-1.
Yeah, that's a great... It's a great win there from the Comet Blasters, just kind of waiting around, enduring, waiting for that window of opportunity to present itself right there. And when they got to that second checkpoint, or that first checkpoint, all they got to do is throw down that bubbler, and they're instantly going to clear it, and then they just coasted their way to the lead. And that's really all you needed. You just needed to get a lead against that comp, because again, San Diego's comp was built for defense. It was built to get a lead and hold on to it. So once they lose control of lead, it's just a matter of, yeah, what are we going to do? We don't have a shooter. They literally had 0 shooters in this meta. How are you going to push up and create space? They had to get something going with those missiles. Just couldn't get it done. So I like the aggression. I like the fact that they dropped the Hydra and went with something more aggressive, something that can start causing that E-leader to be a little bit more honest, keep them on their toes. I like it.
Yeah, you know, and I think the UCSD has been really flexible here. So actually both teams have been really flexible with their comps. I think they have individual players that really specialize in a couple of weapons, but have somewhat surprised us so far in this set. They are really bringing out all the pocket weapons as well. CD Woomy, best known for that carbon deco, and has been on a tear with the Stamper, you know, maybe not even necessarily gained the kills, but has created just a big distraction game after game that has opened opportunities for UCSD to push back the Comet Blasters. And Nito there with the 52 pivot, I think was just so good at displacing Goat Child. You know, I know I was hesitant at the start, but Popkin, I think you put it best there that 52 cal, there's always a place for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also a weapon anybody can use. It's not like it's a weapon that... Well, I mean, it's not like it's an easy weapon. Dare I say a talentless weapon. That's not the case at all. But it's a weapon that anybody can pick up. Any competitive player can pick up and instantly realize, okay, this is the value this weapon has. This is the strengths it has. And this is the right situation I need to put myself in to be effective with it. So it's a great pick. Are they going to stick with it right here? I guess we're going to find out. No. Oh, actually, San Diego is the one who's saying, yeah, we're going to drop our E-leader and go with the 52 as well. Why not?
Yeah, actually, the E-leader's pivoting to the Tri-Stringer. Sunlight, who was on the Reflux, is pivoting to the 52. So one bow swapped out for another, and swapping hands also within UCSD Esports. A couple of really interesting adjustments here.
Seekit breaking out their inner K from InkSync. You're going to be going with the Dapple Dualies right here. The weapon, everybody says, needs a better kit, and I agree. But the main weapon itself is still really good, especially with Rainmaker. The fastest single weapon that can pop Rainmaker is the Dapples. You got to get really close to it. It's usually a little bit risky.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And now it's going to be UCSD Esports that does pick up this Rainmaker. It's CD Woomy who's holding on to it. That's, you know, one of their main slayers there. And that's going to be 3 down. So this should be the first checkpoint falling in favor of UCSD. And now look at all 3 members pushing up here. It's now actually going to be CD Woomy that backs up to try to get this pop. Not going to be able to get it, but will get a pick off of it. And now they're just going to pull forward here and try to get as many points as possible.
I like that play. I like that play a lot. Look, you're the last player left alive. That pushes over anyways. Why not grab it and move forward with it a little bit? That could be the difference between winning and losing. You don't just want to get to the checkpoint first, break the tiebreaker. Now, if you're the Comet Blasters, you got to get to that other checkpoint, grab it and move forward with it. Easier said than done. So I like the fact that they risked it a little bit right there just for a handful of points. That could pay off huge dividends down the road.
It absolutely can, because especially with Eeltail, it can be a little bit of a low-scoring game early on, but the second half is when things break loose, and it becomes a very high-scoring affair. And look at this, though, UCSD with the readout, make that a delayed wipe. So that's going to be a huge stop. That Rainmaker sitting on the Comet Blasters side of the map. So now UCSD is going to try to pick this up, and the pressure's on already.
And I like the communication you saw there, San Diego, recognizing where the beacon was. Let's take that out so that they can't do anything to kind of slow us down right now. And now the Rainmaker's stuck right here. And this is a wipeout situation. You got to pop it and go. I wonder if they should not have grabbed it last time and let it reset. This time, are they trying to let it reset right now? Yeah, they still haven't grabbed it. Now they picked it up so far behind on that grab. Now there's nowhere to go.
It looks like they're going to try to force their way through this top left side. That's been such a favorable way to clear the first checkpoint in this game so far, and they've been able to get one pick. Can they get the checkpoint? No, it's going to be CD Woomy with the Zipcaster coming in just in time, able to get 2 clutch picks there, looking for the third, but no, it takes 2 members of the Comet Blasters to shut them down.
Yeah, but this push is essentially dead at this point. You do got some players with some soda in them, but still, why were they so delayed in picking up that Rainmaker? They could have had this checkpoint and then some if they were just a little bit quicker, and now they have basically nothing. In less than 2 minutes left to go, this Rainmaker is going to reset map control, everything in the favor of San Diego right now.
It absolutely is, and here comes a few specials on top of it. Coaster bringing out that Inkjet, looking to get a couple of picks. Dapples are already down, but not going to find anything. So now it's, oh, there we go. The teammates, though, are going to be finding some picks here, and now this could be a huge push from UCSD.
You know, pushing around this glass is usually pretty risky, but when nobody's there to defend it, you can just slip right through. That is a massive lead on this map. It's so hard to overcome that. And they still got to pass that first checkpoint as well. Things are looking really good for San Diego right now. Still a minute left to go. It's Rainmaker. Rainmaker moments can happen. All 4 specials are online for the Comet Blasters. They could find a way to get some picks with these things, get some soda down, let the Rainmaker run. They could try to make something of sort of a comeback right now. But so far, nothing is giving on the side of San Diego. They're just playing very passive. They're not overextending. They're not feeding into this. And they're letting Comet Blasters be the team that makes the mistake instead.
Yeah, and as you said, UCSD has done so good on defense so far, but they need to be very careful here in these last 30 seconds. They can't go more than 2 members down, because then that becomes very difficult. And here is that exact moment that the Comet Blasters are looking for. 3 down on the side of UCSD. Specials coming out. It's Goatchild that is retreating now. But look at this Rainmaker. No one's picking it up still.
Oh, no. Now, they will clear this checkpoint. But the question is going to be, where are they going to go here? I think going glass is going to be a little too risky, because all you got to do to defend is go up top there. I would like to see somebody flank around that right side. Instead, all 4 players are going to try to bottleneck through that glass. There's no way that's going to work. But still, a great opportunity there for the Comet Blasters. That you saw they had the windows there. Just that final push isn't the main reason why they lost that. Bottlenecking on that glass area, which nothing was going to go there. They're just a little too slow. They have their opportunities to get that checkpoint earlier, and that would have made that final push a whole lot better if they didn't have to stock at that checkpoint. But because they're just a little too slow in recognizing when to put their pedal to the metal, that's what's kind of been the difference right now. San Diego's just outpacing them and then just holding on to the leads, milking out these clocks with their defensive comps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the combination there of Coaster and CD Woomy being the 2 main slayers on the side of UCSD, leading the way. Sunlight doing an excellent job of, building up those specials, kind of just hitting them with everything. And that's going to just open up so many opportunities for their teammates to go in and get those picks and follow up as a result with that objective. And then Goatchild brings up the rear with the E-leader or tri-stringer, and is able to get really clutch picks there to kind of just put the cherry on top for UCSD, and now they find themselves at match point.
And this is not the map and mode you wanted to see come up if you are the Comet Blasters. This is a very defensive, very turtley kind of map, and this suits San Diego extremely well. I think you need to go back to what you've been doing these last couple of games. You need to go hyper aggressive. You need to throw a bunch of punches. You need to get some juice. That's what I liked about the Dapples. I don't like juice on Dapples, but the fact that they have some juice that they can throw into them, let themselves kind of feed to some extent, because San Diego's just going to stand back and just try to endure. Why not just try to throw so many punches that eventually one of them connects, and because really on this map you just got to pop the basket once.
Yep.
It's just whoever can score first is the team that wins, because you're the only one who's going to score. So Comet Blasters just need to find a way to overwhelm San Diego, and to do that, they just need to play a lot faster than what they have been up to this point.
We've seen it once earlier this season in week 2, I believe, where this did go to the full 8 minutes with nobody scoring. So history very well could repeat itself tonight, with both of these teams being as defensive as they have been so far. So we'll kind of have to see how this one shakes out. Go Child switching over to that Jet Squelcher. Meanwhile, the Flings making its first appearance this set on the side of the Comet Blasters.
When in doubt, bring Flingza out and just spam missiles. Yeah, they used that the Squelcher on the last Coin Blitz game as well, so they just want to keep I guess that's just the anchor they feel comfortable using in Clan Blitz in general. But if I'm the Comet Blasters, I'm saying thank you. I'd much rather use that than one of your E-Leaders again on this map. E-Leader is so busted here. And right now, it seems like the Comet Blasters, even though nobody's really getting any splats, they seem to have most control of mid at this point. But, well, they're going to lose it now. They got to run from the missiles.
Yeah, and it's a very sort of passive game here. CD Wooey finally going in and gonna find a trade. So yeah, both of these teams definitely, I think, being very, very cautious, because they are well aware that one wipe translates to a score, and that score is usually what wins the game.
Yeah, and you do see Secret back on the Tetras, and that's really where it kind of starts and finish. You got to lead with the Tetras, but everyone else has got to be quick and follow with those Reef Sliders that we already have on board somewhere, sharking around. One player does go down on the side of the Comet Blasters, and you see... but even though the man advantage in the favor of San Diego, keep in mind, I've been talking about how their defense works out. They just have to find a way to crack through the shell of the Comet Blasters here, which is kind of just naturally built by the map itself. So they have control of mid. They got the clams. They just got to find somewhere to go.
They do, and with 2 minutes into this game, nobody looks like they've been quite in the scoring position yet. UCSD might have been there for just a moment, but I think they definitely waited too long and had a missed opportunity there. And now an absolute bloodbath in mid, 5 players going down. And this could be UCSD's opportunity to start moving up once more, but no, all players of the Comet Blasters are back online. You have to be so quick in this map to capitalize on those 2-3 down situations.
Yeah, like where were they supposed to go? Without anybody getting splatted, San Diego went from mid all the way back to their own base because there was nowhere for them to go. And now you got the Comet Blasters with a huge advantage of map control, clams built up in the enemy side of the map, and there's still nowhere for them to go. So great. This is oh my gosh, this map is not acceptable. Like, what are they supposed to do? I'm sorry. What are they supposed to do right here? 2v4. Okay, this is your chance. Now start pushing up. Have somebody flank around that right side while you garner attention in mid. But while I say they try to do that, 2 more players get splatted and they have to abandon that push again.
Oh, Popgun, I think we're here for another 5 minutes if I had to put my money on it right now. This is going nowhere fast, as both of these teams have quite a few clams to their name, but it's really going to take a full-on wipe, I think, for either of these teams to get that first score.
Yeah, and neither team wants to be the one that gets wiped like that. Still, okay, so now that Slosher's the last one left alive on that right side, they do get taken care of. So now it's the Secret who's just going to have to barrel down onto the Clan Blitz side of the map. Instead, they jump to mid. Was that the Tetris go over around there? I believe they took care of the player who had the ball. Instead of going to defend the basket, I believe they took out the player who had the ball, and that shuts down everything. So a nice play, I think, on the backside by Seekit. I was wondering where they were going.
Oh, and look at the Comet Blasters now with 3 down. This could be their opportunity. They have 2 power clamps at the ready, but I keep saying that teams have opportunities and they go nowhere fast, but Seekit's going to make a move with the reslider. Here's the jump. Here it is. And this is going to be the first score of the game. 2 power clamps, a huge push by the Comet Blasters, and that should be a game unless UCSD can punish this push, but they're not in a position to do so. They don't have the clams ready for it.
Oh my gosh, what an offensive explosion. And what a heads up play by Seekit. Hey, let me just get on their side of the map. Didn't hit the reslider button and we just auto win. But now you start to see the floodgates open up and San Diego is going to try to escort in their clams. They're just going to throw in one more power clam. Okay, now they're just going to throw in one more clam. Do they have a player near the basket to get it in there? Trying desperately from the trench area. I don't think they're going to get up there in time. And Ty goes to the team who got it first. That should do it. I don't think there's a mercy clam on there. That's game.
They picked it up. That was part of their push. Wow. What a mincemeat clams game between these two. You know, and look at the paint divide on this map. That is just so perfect.
Oh, that was... There you go. There it is. That's the map. We got through it. Yeah. And the difference right there, Seekit's reslider. Okay, that was pretty clever, not going to lie. That's kind of like the old baller tactic that we used to see in Splatoon 2 until people started figuring out how to shut that down. When you get in a situation like that, just go back to how cavemen played Clam Blitz. Just run in there with a special, jump in, throw 2 power clamps, and you win the game. So a nice heads-up play there by the Comet Blasters. You know, as horrible as that map is, it's exciting to watch. I'll give it that.
Oh, 100%. Like, I get that it is not a great competitive map mode, but I think it produces such entertaining games, and from a spectator perspective, that's really all you could ask for sometimes. So I'm completely fine with it being here, and these two teams put on a good showing. And now the Comet Blasters once again are within 1 game of tying the set. They have to take it 1 at a time because UCSD Esports Gold sitting at match point once again, looking to cap their victory at Mahi Mahi Resorts with some splat zones.
Okay, you guys aren't going to want to hear this, but here's the cold hard truth. If Comet Blasters don't bring that Flingza back out in this game, they're going to lose. You can't beat E-Leader on this map unless you just do so much to harass it. And Goat Child, this is just E-Leader heaven. X-Blosh heaven as well, if you want to use that. But E-Leader's just so beyond busted on this map. You need to do something to make sure Goat Child's constantly running for their life. Bring that Flingza back out here, Comet Blasters. I'm begging you. I don't think there's a way you can win without it.
Well, we will have to see if they hear you, Popgun. It is time for game number 6. Splat zones on Mahi Mahi Resort. UCSD Esports leading 3 games to 2. There's the E-Leader. And there's the Flingza.
Give yourself a fighting chance. Hey, that is the 52 gal, not the 96 gal, not the 52. So the vacuum is what they're going to be using there from Nito. And 2 players instantly going down. What the heck happened there? I think a bomb exploded on someone.
It either was that or some very, very quick missiles, but I don't think that's the case here, given that that's only about halfway up. So it's going to be the Comet Blasters that find early control here, and they have UCSD already staggered. This should be a massive push from them.
Yeah, they're eating them up so far in this first 30 seconds right now. They haven't even fired any missiles yet. So far, it's been the subs that are getting the work done. And now, look at this. More players just kind of going down. 1 more player's left alive, Woomy, and I'd rather Woomy just jump back here and go in with their teammates. You don't want to get staggered yet again and give up even more points. But Comet Blasters, hey, coming off that last win they just got, keeping themselves alive, they got a lot of momentum riding into this game, and they're taking advantage of it.
UCSD already running out of time. It looks like the Inkjet's going to try to come out. They're going to try to paint this zone. Missiles coming out as well. So this could be their opportunity to flip the zone. They will get the neutral temporarily, but it's not going to last long. And now the members of UCSD Esports just diving onto this zone, trying to make something happen. But no, that's going to be 3 down, and that should be game. And we are headed to a game number 7 for the final playoff spot in Division 1.
Wow, Comet Blasters just took it to them, and San Diego just did not have an answer for that at all. And I lied. I absolutely lied. I said the Flingza was required for them to win. The Flingza didn't really do that much. Not saying that player wasn't effective. They didn't need the Flingza to do anything. They threw, I'm assuming they threw a bomb, and that got a double at the beginning of the game. And San Diego never recuperated. They just kept going in 2 at a time, 2 at a time, 2 at a time, and just fed into a meat grinder in 2v4 situations over and over again, and they never recovered from that. So the Flingza just sit back, paint zones, throw some missiles every now and then, and look pretty. We're just going to take care of the rest. San Diego did not play that one well at all, and the Comet Blasters punished them for that. That's because the Comet Blasters winning that last game, getting the momentum they need, coming out strong in that one. Now they're looking like, for the first time in the set, they're looking like the better team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that Comet Blasters team came from. I think that they found themselves following that reef slider on Clam's mincemeat, and they are just feeling themselves now. And now, though, game number 7 is afoot. Tower Control Museum de Alfonsino. Oh boy, this one is an interesting game 7 for these two teams. I feel like this one plays, pretty different from a lot of other like map modes. I don't know, like it just feels different. Like you kind of have to play like a weird like version of being like super aggressive, but like I don't know. It's really hard to describe. Like it just feels like you have to play with a very different mindset.
Regardless of how the mindset is with this map in general, if I'm San Diego, I don't care what the mapper mode is right now. I need to come out and set the tone early. I don't need to go looking for splats, but I just need to get myself established, put some paint down, build up some specials. I need to ease into this last game and not make those same mistakes that I've been making those last 2 games. Reestablish yourself as the better team because you were playing a lot better, but the speed, I don't want to say the speed of Comet Blasters has picked up, but they've been doing a lot better of just throwing out the right kind of aggression at the right time. And I'm definitely going to be looking out for some splat bombs at this opening here. I don't want to go down 2 players instantly. And it does look like they're being a little bit more passive, just putting down some paint and letting Goat Child keep everybody at arm's length.
The start here is going to be a little bit slow between these two teams. Coaster with that Try-Zuka knock. There we go. Going to find 1 pick, actually. And that's going to be on Anita with the 96. So that they will progress towards this first checkpoint. But they're not going to get quite there yet. So UCSD might have just played a tad too aggressive out of the gate without really having the numbers advantage to work with. And now it's going to be David that's up here on plat trying to stop Goat Child from playing any defense.
This first lead going to be going into favor of the Comet Blasters. Not much else for them to go right now. And here's the question. You're down 2v4. How many more players are going to lose? Because you don't want to give up control of that first checkpoint and give a great opportunity for San Diego to go through that second one there. You might have lost too many players there on an empty push. As you see Wumi already pushing around, starting to ledge camp that right side. That's going to funnel everybody in the mid right into the arms of Sunlight and Goat Child, who both just get eaten up, I believe, by little David going around the back door, getting some nice flats and shutting down what looked like the beginning of a promising push from San Diego.
Yeah, things continue to be slow. This to me is very reminiscent of game number 1, Tower Control on Wahoo, where these two teams were just constantly back and forth early on, exchanging leads, and it was very slow out of the gate in that one as well. And I think we're seeing that exact same thing play out here between these two as they trade 3 down for 3 down time and time again.
My goodness, San Diego paid a heavy price just to clear that first checkpoint. That was a struggle, but they did clear it nonetheless. Now the question is going to be, can they slow down? Can their players jump back in time? And I think it's Ghost Child that's continuing to not get splatted, but still punish all these other players from the Comet Blasters, as they're doing a pretty decent job of jumping back in here. But can the Comet Blasters get any splats? right now, I think Goatchild's got a lot of players pinned down. That's allowing a perfect opportunity for the rest of these San Diego players to start cleaning up.
Oh, and look at CD Woomy here getting a nice double there, trying to get the last player that's behind them, but gonna opt for the tower instead, letting the teammates know, hey, you handle this, I'm gonna go ahead and start pushing this objective because that's the last person we need to worry about.
Yeah, mid control just kind of floating around. Oh, 3 players going down for San Diego. But look again, it's always Goatchild that's the last one left alive, and they always get like one little pick without getting destroyed themselves, and that just seems to just kind of throw the wrench into everything. Seekit doing a good job constantly kind of controlling this right side, but again, it's not resulting in an opportunity for them to clear that first checkpoint. I wonder if you'd be better off if Seekit, instead of just holding the right side, just went up into the enemy base, just caused some distraction like we typically see Tetris do. Just go up there and start taking some fights. Instead, just kind of floating around in no man's land, getting splatted, not being able to use the reslider, and with a little flare. And this is what I would like to see coming out from the side of the Comet Blasters. Nice work here from San Diego. This is a pesky spot to be in, and that'll create a perfect opportunity for that tower to kind of get moving.
Oh, CD Woomy doing everything they can, trying to get rid of that vacuum. And CD Woomy is on a tear. 3 down on the side of the Comet Blasters. That's going to be the second checkpoint cleared for UCSD Esports Gold. And they are starting to really extend this lead with 1 minute to go.
Yeah, that's really sneakily. Time has just been milking off the clock. There's only a minute left. And look at all the checkpoints that have yet to be cleared by the Comet Blasters. That's San Diego finally able to push up thanks to the efforts of Woomy, taking the fight away from the tower, and the tower just can just kind of coast on off and get all those points up top there. San Diego, and look, I like the fact that San Diego's keeping the aggression up as well, saying, let's not give you any more opportunities to push the tower. I don't know if you want to hop back on and just give the tower to the enemy team. Maybe it'll slow down the push a little bit. But I like the fact that San Diego's not turtling up anymore. They're starting to be more aggressive.
They are, and this wave breaker is going to add to that. Going to make it a little bit more difficult. 20 seconds to go for the Comet Blasters to get back on this tower and keep their playoff hopes alive. But look at this. It's going to be 3 people trying to collapse in on the Comet Blasters here. 1 down on the side of UCSD. Make that 2 down on the side of UCSD. The 96 down as well. But Goatchild trying to save this game single-handedly. And that's going to be a double. And that will do it. UCSD Esports is headed to the Division 1 playoffs.
Goatchild just shut down that game. Just took it over. Said, guys, that last game, let's just erase it from our memories. Just let me handle this one right there. And that's what their MO's always been. Get a good lead and just hold on to it. I don't think we could look at the KAs later, actually. I'm curious to see how many times, not how many times Goatchild got a splat, but how many times they themselves got splatted, because I feel like they just stayed alive the entire game. And when you got the E-leader alive the entire game, there's nothing you can do offensively. Nice work there from Goatchild.
Goatchild really basically just said there, all right, team, I got your back, and put the entire last defensive effort there on her back and said, the Comet Blasters, I love you, but you know, you are not going to get this chance. The playoff spot is ours.
Fair. Hey, a great set though. The Comet Blasters, you know, you don't feel good losing that one, but you got to feel good playing through that set. I like the fact that they were making a lot of adjustments. They were learning during the set, so they got better during the set. They realized the adjustments they needed to make. Just a little too late, but still, yeah, you're gonna feel bad because you lost, but there's still a lot of positives to take away from the Comet Blasters. But yeah, can we see that last game in particular?
Yeah, we can go straight to that last game.
I just want to see how many times Goatchild died. 2. A grand total of 2 in 5 minutes. That's tough to beat.
Yeah,
that is tough to beat.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really the main thing you could ask from your backline in that situation there is just whatever you do, stay alive. Like, I'm pretty sure UCSD went 3 down 3 or 4 times during that game, but the Comet Blasters were never able to fully respond, even with Aster on that Flingza trying to pump out those missiles, because Goatchild just stayed alive time and time again and always managed to get 1 pick in response to 3 of their teammates going down, and the Comet Blasters just couldn't piece together the push that they needed.
They were not willing to try to go up and take the fight to Goat Child. You saw them trying to be hesitant about jumping up to that plat and just fighting them head on or forcing Goat Child to retreat a little bit. On the flip side, you saw CD Woomy saying, screw that, I'm going right up to your base. I'm using one zip caster the entire game, but I'm going to use it to overwhelm you and just get up in your face. And just the willingness to be more aggressive, again, was a little bit of the difference there, right? Where, my goodness, I saw that Mahi game. Comet Blasters just whopped them right there. Is this the Clan Blitz?
This is the Clan Blitz game. Look at Seek It. One Reef Slider. One Reef Slider. That is all you need. It took nearly 5 minutes to get one Reef Slider that sealed the game.
It's like the light bulb goes off in your head. It's like, wait a minute. If I just use Reef Slider right here, we win. It worked out great.
Wow. I mean, I'm so excited to dive into these stats later on, which has been an ongoing project as well for Division 1, to just compile all these stats together for these players to kind of look back on, reflect, and have also a little bit of pride of possibly leading the league in a specific category. So these are going to be some fantastic numbers to dive into later.
Yeah, but overall, hey, congratulations once again. San Diego's moving on.
Yes.
And now they got to play the Purdue team, the Boilermakers Special, which has lost a grand total of 1 game the entire season.
One game by DC.
1 game by DC. Oh,
correct.
Excuse me. Okay, so they are 20-1.
Yes.
Per games, and that 1 loss was because of a DC. All right, have fun with that.
Yep.
San Diego.
So
San Diego and Purdue's always got some good, friendly, bad
exactly,
blood between each other there as well.
Aster is the only returning member of that Purdue team. Barry, that whatever Div 1 2800 XP Charger, also really doing a lot for that team there. So this will be a fun matchup. I think the cards are kind of stacked in Purdue's favor, obviously, but UCSD was very resilient today, and they're not going to go down without a fight. And on the flip side of that bracket, it's going to be the Night Sharks of the University of Central Florida. Had a perfect season, 20-0. You could also catch them in low ink tomorrow and possibly Sunday if they make it to that day too. I mean, they've just been a crazy team as well. They'll be taking on the Husky Splatsville Knights of the University of Washington. So the playoffs for Division 1 are set, and it looks like we're gonna have some really good semifinals matchups.
You can only hope at this point. Hey, hats off to you and the rest of the CCA crew for a successful season so far. I guess it could all go off the rails and be horrible from this point, but so far, a massive tournament you've got here. All these teams, exciting times in the competitive Splatoon scene.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to see how this one finishes off. Thank you, Popgun, for those words and for joining us today. Go ahead and plug yourself. Where can our chat find you?
Hey, if you don't know who I am, don't worry. I don't care about who you are either. But you could find us on IPL Splatoon this upcoming weekend. It is Low Ink Weekend. It is the best doggone tournament in the community, which is sad because it is a skill cap tournament, but you're definitely going to want to watch on Saturday and Sunday. There's going to be a lot of people watching, a lot of people in chat, and a lot of exciting matches that you can see there as well. So make sure you tune in for that this weekend. That's the only thing I want to plug.
Awesome. And you can also find me tomorrow on the mic there as well. So I'm going to take the hype from this one and bring it tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic low ink, and I'm excited to see it. Thank you so much, Popgun. As for myself, you can find me at DRF_Splatoon on Twitter and at TritonDRF on Twitch. That is going to do it for us today here at the CCA League. Congratulations once again to UCSD Esports Gold for making the playoffs. We're going to go ahead and send a raid towards Splatoon at Purdue, and one of our favorite collegiate groups. They have their in-house going on right now. So let's go ahead and keep the hype going for collegiate Splatoon. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you very soon.